Hello, good evening, everybody. Apologize for my haircut, but will be sorted soon. Welcome to the fifth, should be the fifth talk. These are not teaching. I don't feel like um talk about the fifth talk about the journey to the tarot. Um, last last week, um, I started talking how um, astrology and tarot are intertwined, and that basically was just the beginning. The beginning because what I found while I was preparing this evening talk is even more in interesting than last week. You will hear some things will be repeated, but please bear with me. And some are new information. And it's a lot of information, and it's really difficult to by heart. So I have my support here. Um, just a second, sorry. Okay. I would like to start from last part, but really quick because uh, um, last things said last week that basically the hello, good evening, thank you for joining. I don't know how. Uh, um, Thank you for joining, by the way. Okay, the the system, the Chaldean. I hope I'm pronouncing this well. Hello, Andrew. Thank you for joining. Um, uh, in the Western world, the astrological system used is the Chaldean order, and basically the sky is seen as 360 degrees. um, can be, you can see certain planets without using a telescope, and those are the planets who are put on, that you can find in the astrology wheel. uh, and basically the astrology wheel represent like 360, this should be degrees, and each is divided in 12 houses, so 30 30 um, degrees each. But when I was looking, hello Lorraine, hello Veronica, thank you for joining. Hello, doing the best I can. Thank you for joining. And um, each um, then going forward, you will hear how we will see how you we can find the two signs in the same house, one taking more like 20 degrees and the other 10. It's really very, very. Hello, Chloe. Hello, Eileen. Hello, Angel. Very, very interesting, at least for me. I hope it's going to be interesting for you as well, and especially for if there's anybody among you who is an astrologer, come forward, please, because I am not an astrologer, absolutely not. And I'm learning, certain things. I remember that I have a book actually, and I was going through the book, and uh, because I read it a long time ago, and then I was I was doing other stuff. So, but anyway, this going back. Uh, the astrological wheel is divided into 12 houses, and basically, um, as Stace said last week, there are basically each sign is um, assigned, corresponds to one house, and there's also, it was back in the days, during the 70s or earlier, it was found on at 13th signs, which I don't know how to pronounce, or Ophiuchus, um, and but this sign was never incorporated, by the way. Anyway, with regard to the astrological houses, we have 12 houses. Um, each each house um, corresponds to a particular area of our life, and each house is ruled by a planet. For example, the first house, mm, is about is about the person, is about their personality, the stamina, the drive, and is you know is ruled by the planet Mars, and corresponds to the sun sign, Aries. And next week I might do a PowerPoint presentation with all, and and the astrological wheel goes anti-clockwise. So when you start from one, it goes this way, not like a clock, this way. So the second house instead represent finances, and um, values, financial independence, possessions, material life, and it's not by chance. Is basically is ruled by Venus and the signs of Taurus. The third house, instead of is travel, communication, media, education, intellect, and is the house of Gemini and Mercury. and the fourth house instead is represents home, family, um, home, family, land. It's ruled by the moon, and is ruled by the moon and the sun sign of Cancer. Um, the fifth house instead is the house of creativity, of self-expression. Um, sorry, sorry. Please bear with me. I can't keep him here. Otherwise, I would. Um, and is the house of is ruled by the sun, and the sun sign of Leo. The sixth house represent health, work, um, civil, military. Is ruled by Mercury, and everybody knows the meaning of the planet Mercury, and the sun sign Virgo. um, the seventh house rules international, relations, business, partnerships, um, politics, um, legal affair, contracts, is ruled by is the Libra, and as you know, Libra is a sign, is the other sign ruled by Venus. The eighth house is the house of financial dealings, corporation taxes, insurance, um, you know, even a stock. Hello, Mystic Road. Nice to see you. Even stock markets, and is the house ruled by Mars, and the sign of Scorpio, and the ninth house. Is the house of foreign affairs, trade, travel, education, um, philosophy, law, and is ruled by Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius. Uh, the reason why I'm saying these things are relevant. Um, Otherwise, I wouldn't I wouldn't go into it. At the 10th, 11th, and 12th house, you know, um, the 10th house is among the other things, the house of career, rewards, professional opportunities. Is ruled by Saturn, and the sign of Capricorn. The 11th house, and um, is the house of relationships, of friendships, and is ruled by Uranus, and the sign is Aquarius. And last house is the 12th house, is the house of karma, is the house of the subconscious, dream, intuition, um, spirituality, um, and it's ruled by Neptune, and the sun sign is Pisces. Okay, as as you heard, basically they are for the astrology wheel. They are kept in consideration only the planets that can be seen without a telescope. Like if someone among you is a passionate is an astrologer or is passionate about astronomy, and you look at the sky and you know which is which. I know I can recognize only Venus. um but now I will basically you can see these planets without the use of the telescope, and these planets are the ones who you can find on the astrology wheel. And um, and um, the sun, I've just said them, but they are basically the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Earth is not taken in consideration because basically at these planets to to make a natal chart, an astrological chart, so the Earth can be taken in it can be taken in consideration. Um, Last week I was talking about the sun signs, and how they are divided in cardinal signs, fixed signs, and mutable signs. And um, and, and basically there was a question. I want to be more precise about my answer. There was a question from a lady who was here last week. She asked, "What does it mean, mutable signs? Are the signs in this category, are those signs are changeable, are more flexible, more adaptable to change, um, more adaptable and flexible to change. That's why they are defined in this way, because of their characteristics as a sign. I'm not going to go through each characteristic of each sign, because I think that you know this better than I do. Um, but I would just would like to repeat which signs basically StreamYard. Hello. Which signs are and which signs are the fixed signs and which signs are the mutable signs. And basically, as I said last week, sorry for the repetition, the cardinal signs are those signs who basically fall at the beginning of a season. For example, like Aries and Libra, because Aries falls mm, in March during the spring equinox, and in Libra in autumn um, um, n- 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 for the autumn equinox. And that's why they are called cardinal signs. And basically, the minor arcana that are associated with the cardinal signs are the of each suit. Each of the four suit are the cards not from number two to number four, and they are associated with the signs of Aries, Cancer, Libra, um, and Capricorn. And you see, I actually found an astrology wheel complete with all the information that I'm going to tell you right now, and visually makes more sense. And those signs that also represent a stable energy. They are stable themselves, and they are associated with the cards from 5 to 7, and the signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And then the mutable signs are, um, as I said, they are adaptable to change, adaptable to change, and these are they are associated with the number from 8 to 10, and with the signs of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Um, and again, um, you can find I said before which house is associated with which ruler, which planet, and which house. Um, mm, the the planets that are um, this is this part is going to be more about um, uh, the planets. Anyway, it's relevant. The order of the Chaldean is considers the speed of the planets, and uh, and as I said before, how they are. Um, you are a triple Cancer, Sun rising in Venus, Libra moon. Oh, well, good. That's good. Mm, Sun rising and Venus, Libra, Moon, Libra in Moon, and your ascendant. Mm, your signs are sun sign is Cancer. Your moon and the ascendant is also important. Well, I'm not an expert, but apparently they say that the ascendant is important as well. Um, and as you know, also the seven planets corresponds to the days of the week, but this is an extra information that is not really relevant. Um, um, Okay, and basically the Chaldean order shows the sun in the middle, and then the sun in the middle, and then there are planets on the right and on the left of the sun. On the right of the sun, we have the planets that move fastest around it, and then on the right, on the left, and side, the planets that move, um, slowest, the slowest one. And any amount of time to move around the sun. We know very well the Earth takes 365 days, and the other planets more or less, um, they are longest, like Venus, for example, takes 7 months to move around the sun, and Saturn 29 years, and mm, and Uranus 84 years. So it's a lot. It's long, and also with regard, this is something that I have already touched, um, mm, with regard to the major arcana. As you know, I found something more precise information about the major arcana, because basically the major arcana are 22, and they are associated, each card is associated with a sun sign, but the sun signs are only 12. But basically, according to each arcana, each major arcana shows twice, um, in the astrological wheel. I'll give an example because it was it was a little bit um, in, intricate for me to understand as well. Um, we know we know that the emperor is associated with the sun sign of Aries, but because um, because mm, Aries rulers is Mars, um, you will see on the astrological wheel, um, Mars is the ruler of Aries and Scorpio. So on the wheel, you will see another arcana associated um, with uh, with Scorpio, because of basically Mars rules both sun signs. Um, but also, um, on the on the on the wheel, and we have we have Aries, which rules the emperor, and the ruler of the tower is Mars, and and also and this goes for all the planets. The planets are associated with the other major arcana. For example, Mars is the ruler of the tower. Venus um, mm, is represented by um, by the Empress, and Mercury, Mercury the magician, and mm, the moon instead is represented by the high priestess. And if you think at the major arcana, there's also the moon is depicted that, and the sun is the planet sun is represented by the major arcana, the sun, and Mercury by the magician, and Pluto is the judgment, and mm, Jupiter instead Hello, sorry. I don't know what happened. Don't know what happened. My connection, my internet, my connection fell. Basically, stopped all of a sudden. It happens. Usually it happens, but it never has never happened. Online, live before. Well, always the first time for everything. Anyway, as I was saying, I'll go back. Okay, basically, um, the 22 major arcana. The 22 major arcana are assigned to 12 sun signs. Um, um, mm, mm, and because each, mm, sun signs are ruled by mm, one planet, more than one sun signs. Two sun signs are ruled by the same planet. The major arcana, you will see the major arcana on the astrology will appear in all 22 instead of only 12. So we know that the signs, for example, I'll tell you again, the signs that rule the major arcana. Aries rules the emperor, and Taurus the hierophant, Gemini the lovers, Cancer the chariot, Leo the strength, Virgo the hermit, and Libra the justice, and Scorpio death, Sagittarius temperance, Capricorn the devil, Aquarius the star, and Pisces Pisces the moon. On uh, on the other side, there are the planets also associated with mm, the remainder of the major arcana, as I was saying at the beginning before the interruption. Mars rules. Mars is associated with the Tower, Venus with the Empress, and Mercury with the Magician, and the High Priestess with the planet, the Moon, the Sun with the Major Arcana, and the Sun, Mercury with the Magician, and um, mm, Pluto with Judgment, and Jupiter with the Wheel of Fortune, and Saturn, the World, and Uranus with the Fool, and Neptune with the Hanged Man. And now there's an interesting part that is w- which regards the court cards. Um, I'm going to cover the court cards also from another point of view, but this is from the um, astrology point of view. Are basically each court cards embodies um, the an element, and and also mm, and also a modality. It's a little bit like for the minor arcana, with with cardinal, fixed, and mutable, mutable signs. And with the court cards, all cardinal signs are represented by queens. Um, so the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, of Swords, and Wands, and the fixed signs are represented by kings, and the mutable signs by knights. And there's also um, a place for the pages. Um, for and this is where what I was saying a little bit not really clear, not really clear at the beginning, um, is that for example, the Queen of Wands um, embodies the Queen of Wands embodies water and fire, and in the astrological wheel, the Queen has 20 represents 20 degrees of the sign of Aries, and 10 of Pisces. So um, Aries, Aries, as you know, um, fire sign, Pisces, water sign. The Queen of Pentacles, it's instead water and earth, and you would see the Queen of Wands in the astrological wheel, with 20 degrees of Capricorn, and 10 of Sagittarius. The Queen of Swords, um, it's water and air, the elements of, so they embody at the same time elements, the elementals, and also the characteristics of, so the Queen of Swords is 20 degrees, has 20 degrees Libra and 10 Virgo, and the Queen of Cups, um so water, as 20 degrees of Cancer and 10 of Gemini. um the fixed signs, they are associated uh, with uh, with air, meaning that the the 20 degrees are more in air, in the element of air. Um, the King of Wands is like air and fire at the same time. So Leo and Cancer, 20 degrees in Leo and 10 in Cancer. The King of Pentacles, it's Earth, air and Earth, so it's 20 degrees in Taurus and 10 in Aries. The King of Swords, um, is basically 20 20 degree in Aquarius and 10 in Capricorn, and then the King of Cups is 20 degrees in Scorpio, um, and 10 in Libra. The mutable signs are associated with fire, and the knight of wands. It's basically mm, fire and fire. So 20 degrees of Sagittarius and 10 of Scorpio. The Knight of Pentacles, fire of fire of Earth, represents 20 degrees of Virgo and 10 of Leo. The Knights of Swords, fire of air, represents 20 degrees of Gemini and 10 in Cancer. And the Knight of Cups, fire of water, 20 degrees of Pisces and 10 in Aquarius. I know it's a little bit tedious, but in the practical application, um, it's um, it's it's different. Makes it's not that uh, you know when you look at actually at the astrology wheel with all the elements put together. It's um it's uh, it's quite it's quite fascinating, because as I was saying last week, there are there are many mm, there are many websites nowadays, uh, where that can be used, even if someone is just starting, looking into astrology. For example, we could someone might start um, by doing its own natal chart, and and all information that are needed to uh, even to complete or to add more information to a reading, can be easily found online. I'm not saying while you're doing a reading, obviously, but studying these aspects, and how they matches the astrology wheel. For example, there's also a place for the aces, and because the aces, basically all the aces of the suits, they represents the seeds. Then this is that are are going will be planted by the rest of the suits, the other cards part of the suits. And then there's also a place for the pages. So basically all all tarot deck is taken in consideration. And then a further addition and this is I mentioned this last week, is when the signs fall, they match in a season change. That's also, it's something that it's another information that you can find on an astrological wheel. um I okay. I feel that this is uh, is um, uh, enough for this evening, and mm, and I think that the the link between astrology and the journey to the tarot, this is also enough to cover. Otherwise it becomes too tedious, too heavy. Um, the uh, Keep in mind that at the end I'll um, I will do a kind of, a recap. um, all put will be put together. um, next week I would like to cover numerology and tarot and numerology, how the link how numerology is linked to the tarot, and how, you know the knowing having this knowledge um, can help and can support during a reading. And de- depending on, of course, oh, what I find, what I'm going to find, what I will find, and the information and so on. If uh, uh, I make it, I will look also into the archetypes, how the archetypes are embedded in the tarot too, and how also the a little knowledge about the archetypes can help during a reading. Even though I always support, um, you know everything that we learn, it's not only goes in our minds but also in our subconscious minds. So, um, and things come back to us, on when we use our intuition. The important is not to apply knowledge mechanically, like trying to give a meaning to something, just because we know on the paper this mean, you know this card, and this apply also to oracle cards. um because at times, even with oracle cards, at times when you draw a card and you read the meaning of the card on the booklet, might make sense to someone's situation, or not someone's situation, makes sense to someone, times might not. So even there, um, let you guide, let yourself guide by your intuition, but by your but your inner compass. It's all there, and all we are all um, able to do that. Okay, thank you for your patience, and I'm sorry for the interruption. I'll see you on Saturday for the mini readings. There were problems with the internet last Saturday as well. Um, so I hope this Saturday things will work out. Have a nice week ahead, everybody, and I'll see you on Saturday. Thank you very much.